Hello beautiful people, my name's Lillian and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a step-by-step tutorial on my application and all the products that I use that has my clients' nails lasting well over a month. Here's my credentials. As you can see, I literally have had some clients' nails last them over 2 months. Now obviously, like at that point, you need a new set, but that just goes to show how good my retention is and why you should follow my step-by-step tutorial. Again, this is what works for me, so if you feel like whatever you're doing works for you, keep doing it. This just works for me, and I'm hoping to help anybody that has any questions about their application or is having troubles with keeping a good retention. So yeah, that's basically what this video is. Let's get straight into it. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Okay guys, so we're first going to start off with prep. Prep is the most important thing when wanting to maintain a good retention. If you have bad prep, your nails are not going to last on your clients and they are not going to want to return, because who wants to come to somebody that only has nails that last them a week? Nobody. You're not going to want to pay this money for them not to last you. I first start off by cutting down the natural nail as much as possible. Then I go in and push back the cuticles and cut them. Here, all of the products that I am using for my prep are from Valentino Beauty Pure. A lot of my products throughout this video are going to be from them. I highly recommend their products to every beginner nail tech that I know, or just nail techs in general, because if you're using bad products, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. So you need to start with the good products first, and I really recommend Valentino. You can use my code Lillian at checkout to get a discount when shopping their products. Once the nails are cut down and cuticles are cut, I go ahead and bring out my nail drill. This is the nail drill I use. I bought it on Amazon. It will be linked down below in my bio on my Amazon storefront. A lot of the stuff that I am using in this video is also from Amazon, so that will all be linked down below for you guys. And I go in with my 180 grit sanding band and completely sand down the nail, removing all natural shine that the nails will have. And then this particular client wanted square nails, so I went ahead and pulled out my square nail tips and sized them sidewall to sidewall, making sure that the nail covers all of her natural nail, just so that it applies as clean and smooth as possible. Then I take my KDS glue and I apply a small dot at the tip of the nail. I hold the tip there for around 5 seconds and then let it go. Normally by then it's already glued on there pretty well. Then I go ahead and cut my client's tips to the length that they are wanting. This particular client wanted to do long. I prefer the magnet method. Some people don't like it, but that's what works for me, and I honestly really do like it. Then once all of those are cut, I go back in with my sanding band and file down the line between the natural nail and the fake nail. Just try to get it as smooth as possible, just so like that your application is as smooth as possible. Doing this just allows for products to apply and hold better. Then this is the point where I put on my gloves, because I'm going to start using liquids and chemicals on my client. It's always good to protect yourself, so this is when I apply them before I use any liquids or chemicals. I go ahead and prep my brush and my station before I really do anything to the nails. I go ahead and get my dish out. I apply my monomer in my dish. I use Young Nails monomer. That's the monomer I've always used, and I really like it. It works really well with the Valentino powders. This is my 18 size Kalinsky brush. Again, it'll be linked below in my Amazon. I go ahead and soak that and get it nice and soaked in the monomer before I actually use it. I just like to make sure it's fully prepped and ready to be used before I actually use it. These are the dehydrator and primer that I use. Now, this is the part where I get a little crazy, I think. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to dehydrate first and then prime. But for some reason, I've always primed first and then dehydrated, and I've never had any issues. So that's what I do. This is the powder that we are going to be using today. Again, it's from Valentino Beauty Pure. I wanted to show you guys a kind of close-up of how I do my beads. Obviously, I feel like beadwork is really just gonna take practice. Depending on the length that my client is getting, I'll typically only do a 1 bead method if they're like short to short medium length, but if we're doing like medium to long, I'll do the 2 bead method. But I don't just stick to that. If I need more beads, I will use them. I'm not like, no, I'm only going to use 2 beads. Like, that's not a big deal. If I need more, if I need to fill in some spaces, I will get another bead. It's not that big of a deal. Now you have to keep in mind that temperature does play a big role in how your acrylic application is going to apply. The ideal temperature for a room is around 70 to 75 degrees if you want your acrylic to work with you. Any cooler will make your acrylic extremely runny, and any warmer will make it extremely stiff and hard to work with. So just always keep that in mind when working and depending on where your nail space is. For this 2 bead method that I normally do on longer nails, I will place my first bead a little bit lower on the nail, kind of essentially just right at that point where the natural nail meets the fake nail, and kind of just guide and push the acrylic to fit the full nail while still trying to keep the shape of the square nail. And then I'll go in with my second bead, which will be the cuticle bead. Typically, I want to place this one a little bit lower than the cuticle and push it towards the cuticle, getting it as close as possible without flooding the cuticle. Obviously, this takes a lot of practice and a lot of work. We were all beginners at one point, so don't get discouraged. You really just have to learn how to manipulate the acrylic to where you want it to be. And practice is really just going to make perfect. I do also want you to remember that apex is extremely important when applying acrylic to the natural nail, because if your nails are too thin, they're just going to break off when you do any kind of movements or accidentally hit them, and that is not what you want. You want them to last you as much as possible. But yeah, essentially that is my application. Thank you guys so much for watching. I tried to explain the best that I could. I'm sorry if it didn't really make sense. Feel free to ask me any questions you might have in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Bye!
JB Moro, go and get your bag.